stay home and play cards. So you don't do entertainment when you're broke. That's expensive and entertainment, and that's what eating out is. And Americans have moved, again, partly because both of them in the workplace, they both get home, they're tired, they don't feel like cooking. They don't feel like getting out the dadgum frying pan and doing something. But you can start eating from home. By the way, it's healthier in general to eat from home. And when you start looking at it, it will open your eyes what you're spending on out to eat, what you're spending on your car payment, out to eat, and on vacations when you're broke. Is those three things are what we find in a budget that we can change immediately, and it helps the math to make that turn real fast.
So it's car payments, eating out,
and vacations.
So you addressed eating out. Let's get to vacations.
I don't have numbers memorized,
but I mean, it's your impression that that's a big spend.
Oh, we know it is. I mean, it's the again, the $80,000 family. What a trip to Disney costs for 4 days is, what a trip to the beach for 5 days costs, and rent an Airbnb. And, you grew up different than I did, but I was never on an airplane until I was 15 years old. Air travel was not normal in my generation for middle class and lower middle class people. Air travel for almost every American is normal now. It's very normal for people to jump on an airplane, and it costs a lot of money to buy an airline ticket. We're going to fly to New York. We're going to fly to Disney. We're going to fly to the beach. We're going to fly to Cancun or Cozumel.
The majority of Americans are not even going on vacation. They're basically traveling to all these different places. They're paying for their airline. They're paying for their hotel. They're paying for their food out to eat. And they're not even enjoying the city in which they're going to, because they haven't even explored the city that they live in. There are attractions probably in the city you live in right now. People travel thousands and thousands of miles and spend thousands and thousands of dollars to attend. I live here in Louisiana. People come from thousands of miles away to enjoy Mardi Gras for 3 or 4 days. I live maybe 2 hours away from New Orleans, and I don't go, right? That money that they're spending on this vacation, maybe they spend for Mardi Gras, and that may make sense. But some of them are just staying in their hotel. They swim in the local swimming pool. They may go to a restaurant, and then they go home, and they wonder why they can't make ends meet. Now, obviously, we talked about happiness in one of our other videos, and we talked about happiness being the ability to be content and not to be tempted by a change of emotion, meaning that I don't feel good, I'm tired, I need to go on vacation, I need to change my emotional state. So I'm going to go to another state, somewhere outside of my realm, my boundaries, and I'm going to relax. But do we really? And I want to challenge that. Are we going out there because we want to be happier, or are we burning ourselves out in our day-to-day life? Are we taking the breaks? Are we spending time with our families? Are we choosing to be occupied with things that are going to drive the meaning in our lives, which are friends, family, and maybe even local events, and giving back to the community in which we live? Let me ask you a question. How many times have you gone on vacation last year? And how many volunteer opportunities have you taken advantage of? I'm sure for many Americans, it's a disparity. You've been on more vacations than you have volunteered. And maybe that's why you don't have an appreciation for the city that you live in. He talked about a fraction of the price, how entertainment is a majority of the food cost. Well, entertainment is a majority of the travel costs as well. We're going to another city, we're going to another country because we assume there is going to be some form of entertainment. But once again, when we order the food services, when we don't explore the city that we travel to, we're not getting that entertainment portion. And all we're doing is spending the money, and it's causing a dire effect on our bank balance.